It's always in the news. Cybercriminals attacking great organizations, wreaking havoc on the trust of their brand.
We socialize cybersecurity for you to raise awareness.
Interviewing leaders who built and protect great brands.
We help talented people enter into this incredible field, and we share our research at blockbuster true cybercrime stories.
This is Cybercrime Junkies. And now the show. All right, hey everybody, welcome to Cybercrime Junkies. So today we're going to talk about, there's a recent breach of the Linus Tech Tips channel, and for those of you, if you're not aware of it, go check it out. I'm sure you've seen some of the videos or are aware of them. They're massive. They have like 15 million subscribers. They have multiple different channels. They do a really good job. It's really entertaining. It's really
Absolutely.
good. And what happened to them last week was brutal. Like it was, and the way they handled it, I thought was pretty good. We hear often about cybersecurity awareness training and test phishing, right? As well as, the endpoint protection. We always hear about these layers and multi-factor authentication, all the different security layers, but we don't necessarily understand how it would play out in real life. And that's part of the reason why a lot of executive leadership or business owners don't really get it and they don't really see the value in it. Well, here's a perfect real life example. So the YouTube channel, Linus Tech Tips, has like 15 million subscribers, but they have this whole Linus media group that has several other channels underneath it, each with like close to 1 million or 800,000 subscribers each of those subset channels. Okay. And last week there was a major hack that allowed a threat actor to do things like live stream crypto scam videos, change the channel names, and even delete videos.
Yep.
It was crazy. And one of the things that we saw when we were looking at it is that let me get him off there. So that's just you and me talking. One of the things that we saw when we were looking at the channel is this all played out live in front of millions of people that were watching the channel. Like there are millions of people watching while it is called Tesla, and they have this video, almost like a live stream of this crypto scam on their channel. It took control over it, and later on we found out, and Linus Tech Tips themselves actually came out and explained exactly what happened. And we're gonna get into that in a little bit, like what apparently happened was, according to Sebastian Linus, the creator and founder of this, is that somebody from the media group, they downloaded a PDF, and it was from a sponsorship offer, right? Somebody that wanted to sponsor their channel, and they downloaded the PDF, and what appeared to be, a routine document. Well, they downloaded it and they launched the PDF, and then nothing happened. They couldn't see the terms and conditions. And so they just went about their day and proceeded on. But what happened in the background after they downloaded it, Mark, is it launched a malware that took over. It's called session hijacking. And it took over the session cookies. And
wait, I got to stop you there. What's a session cookie for those listeners that may not be fully aware? Do I have session cookies?
Okay, good question. Yeah, exactly. So a session cookie is in and of itself not a bad thing, right? What it does is when we go onto websites, right, and we click on the thing, there's a pop-up, and it says, and it says, do you want to remain signed in, right? And most people will click yes. So that way, each time you close your browser and you reopen it, you don't have to re-log in and re-authenticate.
Okay, yep.
Well, what this malware did is this malware went and captured all of that. So, and then exfiltrated it over to the threat actor. So on the other side of the world, they were able to log in and control everything on the browser that that employee had. And that employee had two browsers open, right? Google as well as like Firefox or Edge, right? And had been logged into the channel. And with that, they were able to go into the channel. And because it's a session cookie, and because they're already authenticated, they could change the password and change the multi-factor authentication because they didn't have to have the password.
Right.
And one of the issues here is multi-factor authentication wouldn't have helped here.
So that
right?
wouldn't have stopped it?
Nothing would have stopped it, right?
Wow.
So the only things that would have stopped it are, from the first part, being able to have security awareness bolstered, test phishing, so that they would know, because while the email that it came from originally, it looks like, didn't have any obvious red flags because there wasn't like grammatical errors and stuff like that.
No sense of urgency.
Right. But the truth is upon further review, there are a couple red flags there that they could see. But then the other piece is that had they had like managed endpoint detection and response, they likely could have, or any endpoint detection and response that managed it themselves, what they could have done is it would have not have let the session cookie be exfiltrated. It would have caught it. Right. And I mean, we don't know their configuration, but in generally speaking, it seems like it would have caught it. And the reason that's interesting, and one of the things that the one thing that Linus Tech Tips was kind of critique for is they threw some of the blame on Google, right? Because once that session cookie is taken, right, they're relaunching it from their IP, the threat actor's IP, and that's on the other side of the world. So shouldn't there be a system in place, the theory goes, to have to re-authenticate at that point?
Yeah.
Right? Like at that point, it should be obvious that it's not them, right? Because they're not in the same location as the original session, right? It's a different IP on the other side of the world. So that's one of the issues. Google and YouTube haven't responded, or at least that's been made public. But that's one of the main issues. I'm going to play a clip that is from Linus Tech Tips, which is their explanation of exactly what happened, and then we can unpack it. Okay.
Okay. Perfect.
By targeting what's known as a session token. Now, many of you will know this already, and if you do, give yourself a cookie. But after you log into a website and your credentials have been validated, that site will provide your web browser with a session token. This allows your browser, and by extension you, to stay logged in when you restart your browser and go to access that site again.
Okay, so far we understand now what a session cookie is and what it does, right? In and of itself, it's not bad. It allows us to stay logged in, right?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
It's a bad thing. It's a good thing because realistically, nobody wants to type in a password.
And right there, you see the pop-up, right? Stay signed in. This is to reduce the number of times you're asked to sign in. That's the notice that you're getting a session cookie.
Okay.
Okay? Makes sense, right?
Yep.
But hold on a second. That cookie is stored locally on your device. How would someone else get it? Well, that's where we made a mistake. Someone on our team, and I'm not saying it was Colton, downloaded what appeared to be a sponsorship offer from a potential partner. It was an innocent enough mistake for the most part. The email came from a legitimate looking source, and it didn't raise any immediate red flags like being full of grammatical errors. So they extracted the contents, launched what appeared to be a PDF containing the terms of the deal, then, presumably when it didn't work, went about the rest of their day.
So that's really what happened. So they see they get an email that they believe is from a partner. Mm-hmm. They download the PDF, right? They extract it. It's a zip file, which is dangerous right there, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And they go ahead and launch it, but then it doesn't work. And so right there is a red flag. They should notify somebody, right?
Yeah.
And upon further inspection, they probably could have been able to tell from the email, even though there's nothing glaring about it. There were probably some other red flags, it seems, that with additional training or something like that, people might be able to see.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that they're coming out and they're kind of walking through it. I think it's really
Yeah, I think
awesome.
that's the right way to handle it.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think it's awesome the way the way that Linus handled it.
Happened in the background took place over the course of just 30 seconds. The malware accessed all user data from both of their installed browsers, Chrome and Edge, including everything from locally saved passwords to cookies to browser preferences, giving them effectively an exact copy of those browsers on the target machine that they could export, including, that's right, session tokens for every logged in website. Now, no one should unzip an email attachment. File extensions should always be double checked when you're executing anything, and any file that doesn't do what you expect should raise immediate red flags. But then,
so right there, right?
Yep. Yep.
So it makes perfect sense. Nobody should download and extract a massive file like that, right? They need to have systems in place like MEDR on the devices, and it really gets into both of those, right? Both the user awareness as well as this. And it's good to kind of dissect this post-mortem, right? Because they were restored pretty quickly, but boy, it was really devastating to see. We'll have a link to his video where he explains the whole thing. You can see the whole thing. We'll throw that in the show notes for everybody.
on the flip side, I can hardly blame a sales rep or a video editor or someone in accounting for not being up on the latest in cybercrime. And I also believe that in a healthy organization, actually rolls up the hill rather than down. So there's not going to be any disciplinary actions, because the simple truth is that if we had more rigorous training for our newcomers and better processes for following up notifications from our site-wide anti-malware, this could have been easily avoided.
So did you hear that?
Yep. Now he's thinking right.
Right. So he owns it. He says, look, if we had better user awareness training and then better processes so it sounds like they had something. It doesn't sound like they had an endpoint detection, but that they had antivirus at least, and they had some alerts, and they didn't have the processes in place to follow up on those alerts. I would argue that an endpoint detection response program could have done that automatically.
Right.
But that was really good to kind of aware and dive into this. And they have a whole team of people, and they work directly with Google on this. So it's pretty cool. I do know that in some of the comments, I know that a lot of people were upset because there's such a large channel that Google kind of helps them directly. And this has happened to several other channels. And that's the type of thing that other channels might not get the attention. But it really is a good lesson that we can all learn here. And
well, you know what's really unfortunate, David, is that it takes an event like this for somebody to have that aha epiphany moment to say, oh, you know what, we really do need training. You know, it's great that they were able to recover and come back so quick. And I have seen this for years, that's not always the case with the small to medium-sized business, you know, a manufacturer out in the mid-Ohio somewhere. Maybe they don't bounce back the same day. Maybe
that's
it's
exactly
not even the same week. That's devastating to organizations like that. They can't go weeks without generating any revenue or any product.
That's exactly right. He was restored the same day.
Yeah.
And what was also interesting is during this, and you can go and see, because there were people that were taking screen video of what was going on during this time. And there were videos that were on their YouTube channel and apparently listed as unlisted, and that even in the title it said "do not use." So it looks like they were keeping some of the videos almost like a cloud storage. but listing them as unlisted, that's
right.
probably not a great practice. But they
Yeah.
have so much content, so many videos, so many people accessing it. Like, I can't even imagine how complex all of the stuff is that they
Right.
do. And again, this is nothing that we're talking about is any discredit at all to Linus Media or the way that they handled it. I really am impressed even how they
Oh
put
yeah.
this
Yeah.
together afterward. I thought it was
Absolutely.
really, it was great accountability, right? Like, and it's a good lesson for all of us to learn. It's good stuff. So
Yes. Yeah.
As for why it took so long for us to lock down the account once we knew what was going on,
yeah, I don't know if you noticed, but he's there. He gets he gets told in the middle of the night, and he's like butt naked. So like, and
is that the reason for the blurry screen and the?
Yeah, and they have a video of it. Like, if this happens, there's no video in our studio that's
No.
gonna film us like dealing with stuff. I'm just letting everybody know. Like,
Right.
that's
Fair
crazy.
disclosure.
Yeah.
that's another training issue, but this time it was my training.
Yeah. Everybody, just wanted to mention Cybercrime Junkies Prime. We now have a subscription available through our podcast, and it offers exclusive content, bonus episodes, and even pre-releases of all of our standard shows.
We keep it simple. It's just the cost of 1 cup of coffee 1 time a month, and you can cancel anytime.
You can subscribe by scanning the QR code next to me in the video or by clicking the link in the show notes. If you select not to subscribe to our Prime membership, please at least consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. It's at Cybercrime Junkies Podcast on YouTube, and it's absolutely free. It allows us to bring great guests on the show. Thank you for your support, and now let's get back to it. And you know, for viewers on the YouTube of this, for video viewers, we actually have some screenshots of what it looked like when the threat actors kind of took control, and we'll share those as well. They had
this was a good lesson in how to do it, the proper way to do it, and the reason to do it. Right, like he was very full front and up forth that you need awareness training is one of the layers and one of the methods something like this from happening. So I think all around this was well done on their part. Unfortunate for them, you know, you hate to ever see anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, look at what happened when the channel that got breached. They streamed 2 different videos that featured Elon Musk allegedly talking about cryptocurrency with Twitter's original founder, Jack Dorsey. Like, one was named OpenAI ChatGPT-4, the game-changing AI technology, while another was called the Linus Tech Tips and Elon Musk Special Crypto Giveaway. And the second stream actually had been taken down after about 20 minutes of broadcasting. The first stream went on for around 35 minutes.
Wow.
And and there was a link to it that apparently had like a malicious crypto giveaway. And it was all kind of like a whole setup to get people to invest their cryptocurrency because it promised a massive return. And several people apparently did. Wow. Because there were millions of people watching this. Yep. And so it really kind of shows people kind of what all happened. So it's a good lesson. It's a reminder. I mean, like, session hijacking isn't anything new. It's been around for a while, but here's a real life scenario of when it occurs. And I think there's good lessons here for all of us to learn.
Absolutely.
Cool. All right, man. Well, thanks for coming on this journey with me, and thanks everybody for listening as always. We'll see you on the next episode.
Hey, well, that's a wrap. Thank you for listening. Our next episode starts right now.
Please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's free, and download the podcast episodes available everywhere you get podcasts.
To support our show and get exclusive pre-release episodes and bonus content, please subscribe to Cybercrime Junkies Prime.
Link in the description and show notes. And thanks for being a cybercrime junkie.